me 10 seconds into talking to a female, but obviously there's some other issues that's not just from last year, whether that be J.J. Watt being injured or, Kyler Murray being unhappy, but you also have no DeAndre Hopkins for 6 weeks. He apparently broke the PED rule, which was a 6-game suspension, and apparently I think he appealed it, and then he removed the appeal, which is strange because he said, I'm shocked and confused or whatever about this, yet you pull the appeal. Once again, I'm not 100%, familiar with what happens. Maybe it's just really hard to win those appeals, but anytime I see appeals, maybe not for PEDs, but it seems like there's always a shortened, suspension. I don't know what happened there, but, if you're truly innocent, the shocked and confused thing, why, right? Unless the shocked and confused, one of his trainers did it, I don't know, but of course, he really didn't even have that great of a season in general, to be honest. I know injury concerns as well, but obviously, the Cardinals also had a draft in which they traded they traded for Marquise Brown, obviously, a first-round pick to do so. It was kind of costly, especially for a guy that's kind of unproven, if you will. Hasn't really put up any crazy numbers outside of last year, which even then it wasn't crazy. He's not a true number one, and that's kind of what you trade first-round picks as, right? I know Lamar Jackson had him as a true number one, but they are more of a running team. I know Arizona likes to run the ball well, but they like to run the ball a lot, but their yards per carry are pretty low as far as rushing goes across the league. Obviously, Kyler Murray is a huge part of their rushing success, which I assume, him being reunited with Marquise Brown does help the morale there for them to try and get a contract done with him. I mean, Arizona just falls into the dark depths of hell if they lose Kyler Murray, who, definitely did struggle a little bit at times, but is still the best quarterback they're going to have, anytime soon if they were to get rid of him. But let's take a look at the team. Like we said with that draft, it started off pretty badly, trading for Marquise Brown, and it didn't do much better after that. Of course, Rondale Moore apparently is star dev. I didn't even know that, but it really got worse as the night went on. Trey McBride, not necessarily a bad player, but as far as team need goes, not really that high up there. DJ Humphries, I know, probably a guy that they're looking to re-sign, but 2022 is his last year. Same with Pugh. Could use a new right tackle, right guard. I'm not fully sold on. Wide receiver in general, you probably could have just drafted. Could have just drafted a guy. I'm not sure why they didn't. It seems a little questionable, but of course, with that 6-game suspension, Hopkins is going to be on the bench for now. James Conner, a guy that they apparently just love, despite the fact that pretty much everyone else around the league can see that he really just isn't that guy. He's decent in the receiving game, I suppose, but he's really just not that guy. And obviously, they lost Chase Edmonds, who was kind of that guy. He went to Miami, I believe. Zach Ertz, we should talk about, kind of the reason why I didn't, I said didn't really need McBride is because you got Zach Ertz, who actually really turned it on when he joined the Cardinals. They gave him a 3-year $30, which seems a little excessive, especially for a tight end contract, but hey, do what you got to do, I guess. And then defensively, J.J. Watt, that contract so far at least, really not paid off, but one more year to do it, I guess. Honestly, if you look at what they did, instead of going Trey McBride, probably not Trey McBride and go with a cornerback. Maybe even trade up, try to get Andrew Booth or something like that. Instead, the Vikings got him. Thank you. Of course, safeties. One of the better units of safeties in the league. Isaiah Simmons still doesn't seem to be being used right. Zaven Collins was better last season than him as a rookie. Byron Murphy, a guy that, talked about as potential free agent. Need to keep him. I think we need to keep him because otherwise we're going to be completely screwed here. Marco Wilson, at least he's young. I don't know how great he is, but at least he's young. And yeah, D-line, I get the need for J.J. Watt because, it's really not a great interior. But yeah, I don't know how much you're going to actually get of him, so it doesn't really matter too much of what you need rather than what you're going to get. And like I said, the rookies, just kind of reaches, general consensus reaches and some of their older players, Sanders, I don't even know why I gave him star. He's 24. He's going to be 24 when the season starts. Not even. He's going to be 24 before. I'm pretty sure it's like July 12th or something he's 24. It's just absolutely insane. I'm going to put him back to normal. Cameron Thomas, he's not like pro ready, if you will, and He's not the fastest guy in the world. So, I mean, it just wasn't a great draft class, in my opinion. And not only was it not great by the players chosen, but in general, the positions as well. Of course, Trey McBride. I mean, there's some talent, but outside of Trey McBride, there really wasn't a great pick. So through 6 games with the Cardinals playbook, Kyler Murray has run for 135 yards. That, now I'm not saying is super far off of real life. You know, he really slowed down on the ground this year. A lot could have been from that injury he had in their first loss of the season against Green Bay. I had to throw that in there. Not proud of the injury because, you know, I was kind of mad at the Cardinals because, you know, the game was already over. Kyler Murray got hurt on the last play of the game when it was completely irrelevant for him to be playing. So it really pissed me off when that happened. And I don't know, dude, but I think we're probably justified for changing the scheme up, right? I mean, 6 games in, 135 yards is pretty trash. I'm going to try Buffalo. Let's see what happens with Buffalo. They got a fast quarterback. Hello? Could, relax? Look at how many things are here. Chill. Yeah, I get JJ wants to get those numbers up, but I don't know about that now. But speaking of numbers up, maybe you want to help by leaving a like and subscribing. Those would be great numbers to get up, of course. But as far as the re-signings goes, a lot of backup level talent. JJ Watt's probably going to retire on us. Max Williams, I mean, like, is he a fullback? Is he what's going on here? You know, like, we don't really have the running back facilities for us to be holding on to blocking tight ends, in my opinion. So, sorry, Andy Lee. I mean, this man's been around the block. How many teams has he played for? I know he played for the Niners for ages, but is this his only other team? He played for the Browns for 1 year. Right? 1 year, and then they're like, yeah, see you later. We're going to pay Kingsley Keke a 2-year, 12, decent depth, and if we lost him, we would basically have nobody on the D-line because we're probably going to be letting J.J. Watt go, I ain't going to lie. And perfect timing as he gets the star dev up. Only 5K XP, which is kind of garbage, but still, that's a huge dub. I didn't really plan on that. I kind of forgot about that. So, you know, don't yell at me, please. To the playoffs. With a 13-4 season, of course, we rocked with the Bills playbook, which I will admit, the Bills almost never do well in Sim, yet it worked out for us. I don't know if that's just because we do have a pretty stacked squad on offense, which, you know, offense wins championships. Rather, you know, all those defensive losers like to tell you otherwise. Of course, not the greatest season ever, but a Kyler Murray type season with 36 touchdowns, 8 interceptions, 4,100 yards. Rushing, James Conner had himself a year, though, I will say. I mean, with a year like that, I guess he is the franchise back, I suppose. Of course, Hopkins, you know, rejoined the squad a little late. Just said little Bill. You know, it said 16 games played because he was like the super backup, but you could see the downs played comparatively. You know, it's 300 downs less than Marquise Brown. Still came away with an okay season. Rondale Moore was okay in the number 3 spot. Zach Ertz, 700 yards, 6 touchdowns. I mean, it's decent for that point in his career. You know, like I said, joining the Cardinals, having his best year in, you know, 3 or 4 seasons is pretty impressive. Which, speaking of, J.J. Watt, 20 sacks. Everyone else was pretty bad. Simmons maybe goes a superstar. I mean, really just, like I said, not being used well in real life, but still massive potential. And in Madden, I mean, irreplaceable. Really, it's just insane. But let's take a look at the yearly awards. I don't think we would have had any, but maybe, I was about to say, the touchdown to pick ratio is pretty decent. So 5th for MVP for Kyler Murray, 3rd for Offensive Player of the Year, which I would assume probably means likely Pro Bowl, and yeah, it does, thankfully. James Conner at 6th. Wide receiver, we have no one. O-line, we have number 5. D-line, number 2, because Robert Quinn had himself a really good year. Linebacker, I was about to say Simmons had to be up there, and I just kind of glanced over him. 5th is not bad. And yeah, kicker, you know, number 6. I mean, a pretty modest season for a team that went 13-4. I felt like we would have had some crazier performers. I suppose James Conner had a really good year, but outside of that, and maybe J.J. Watt, we didn't really have any crazy performance. You know, I thought maybe it would have been some crazy yards season for Marquise Brown, considering he was the number 1 for the entirety of the season, pretty much. But here we are, going up against the Saints. We're at home. These kind of games, it's really just anyone's game. It's just so random. But yeah, the Saints definitely a team that have done better in sim than the Cardinals have. Like I said, I don't pay attention to all the teams, but there's some teams that are just very consistent lately in sim, and really haven't seen that from the Cardinals or the Bills. Like I said, with that Bills offensive playbook, kept the defensive scheme for the Cardinals. But yeah, it's looking like an okay playbook right now. 35-23, it's a win. It's a wild card win. We're moving on to the divisional round, and once again, the Saints are a decent team, especially in Madden sim. Kyler Murray, really good game. James Conner, kind of what you would expect as far as receiving goes. Marquise Brown and Hopkins were pretty damn good. 2 touchdowns apiece. Defensively, Sanders got a sack. Collins with a sack. JJ, Kiki all having sacks. Simmons with a pick. Gardner Johnson with a pick. And a pretty good performance. Able to move on to the divisional round after taking on a solid Saints team, like we said. Don't know who we're going to face here. Could be someone like the Cowboys, which would really suck. But let's go with route runner for Marquise Brown. Obviously, he is a deep threat guy, but he'll get all of that in due time, as he's already, kind of leading the pack of his stats with deep route. We need the catching, we need the release, the route running. All of that will make it a lot easier on him to succeed. Of course, Humphries probably should be getting a contract this season, but the timing's all up. As long as it's not like some crazy important player. Like, he's a good player, but if we lost him, it wouldn't be the end of the world. I don't care too much about the realism per year type of thing. I usually cuck us with keeping players longer than we have to. So, keeping a guy longer than we have to for a contract re-signing when he's due this much money is not the worst thing in the world, I suppose. It's kind of a downgrade rather than like a bonus for us. But the Eagles, a team that very well could shock the league this year, as they have a very underrated squad, especially the things that they were able to do with that wide receiver room, and potential chance, I wouldn't say to upset us, but it would upset me. If kind of the same thing, right? Of course, a game against a team that, like we said, is an underdog, an underrated squad, but it could be worse, right? Madden Cowboys are just goated. The Packers, they've been winning a lot of Super Bowls lately. Up by 7 against this Eagles team, and offense is looking good. The defense is also doing enough. I can't tell if it is the defense, though. It might be more or less, someone like Jalen Hurts. Don't want to call him out too much, but I kind of could just literally call them out. But Jalen Hurts, looking at those numbers, yeah, like I said, kind of the issue. Obviously, Kyler Murray was not great either, but he didn't throw 2 picks, which is obviously the difference, if you will. Both running backs were pretty trash. Receiving Marquise Brown with another 2 touchdown performance. Of course, Zach Ertz, a decent game against his former team. There's kind of nothing but love between Ertz and the Eagles, so it's not like it would be a revenge game or anything like that. So, there's that. Budda Baker with a pick. Elliott with 2 missed field goals. Prater missing 1, but 1 is not 2, in case you were wondering. But speaking of 1 or 2, I was not expecting to win 1 or 2 playoff games. Like I said, they were a playoff team last year, but, kind of like the Packers, I keep bringing up that team in the postseason lately. They were kind of pretenders. Like, I feel like once the season was kind of ending, no one really believed that the Cardinals were going to do anything. At one point or another, they looked really good. Some people were like, is this for real or not? But no one was saying that they were just not good. But when that season ended, when the regular season clock struck 0, the Packers are a 7-10 playoff team. I could have went without that in my life. I'm just saying, I don't think anyone believed that they were going to go anywhere in the playoffs. And wow, we're just talking about that. Any other team but the Packers at 7-10 from that division. Like you can see here, they're in the championship run. So clearly, a team to worry about is 7-10. I suppose if we lose to them, it's not like unrealistic. It's just their 7-10 record is really weird. Whoever's winning the NFC North is got to have like 8 or 9 wins, right? Like you just, you don't have to, I guess, but look at that. It looks like 50% of the field is like, it's like a different stat or something. It's like that's where they're really good in, scoring or whatever. But halftime, 14-9, 21-9. Maybe Buffalo's playbook's goated. Is that a new playbook, kind of like Tampa's? Of course, they get the touchdown and the 2 points to tie it up. Green Bay, Who would have thought when Green Bay needed to clutch it, they couldn't do so, and they would lose in another championship game? Who would have thought? Of course, Aaron Rodgers, 2 touchdowns, 1 interception. Kyler Murray, once again, that completion percentage, not perfect, but a very perfect game with the touchdown to pick ratio. Aaron Jones, decent. James Conner back to that 3.6, dude. This might be the most realistic rebuild ever. Zach Ertz with 3 touchdowns, kind of what you want him to be there for, is the clutch possession catches. Who was the leading receiver? It was Marquise Brown. Sack totals. I mean, I've been hearing some things. I'm just saying. Simmons with another pick, and then the kicker is just missing. Crosby also missed an extra point. Jeez, man. I don't know where to go with this rebuild if we win, and I specifically don't know where to go if we lose, as, you know, it seems like it's going to be a downhill from here thing. But if you win the Super Bowl, there's really no such thing as downhill from here, because you've already hit that high, so it has to be downhill from here. If you know, weird to say that, but you know what I mean? Like, it's a guaranteed downhill from here, or just straight across. You know, there's no higher high. But let's take a look at who the Browns had to beat. Obviously, they've been a great team in Madden for some years now. Where are they? They had to beat the Dolphins, Steelers, and Chiefs. Definitely a bit tougher of a way to get to the Super Bowl than us. But once again, the Saints are really good in sim. The Eagles are underrated. And even though Green Bay was 7-10, they've been winning a lot of Super Bowls lately. So, I mean, say what you will, but this is deserved. But first things first, before we actually go into the Super Bowl, let's see what kind of dev-ups we had. And Kyler Murray actually was an X factor out the gate, wasn't he? I also have the sliders on kind of low because I didn't want Kyler to get too good of an overall. That didn't really seem to slow anything down. James Conner, of course, is a superstar, which, I mean, super deserved, actually. J.J. Watt, I think he was actually just superstar, right? And now he's an X factor. That'll be a fun contract to pay out. Simmons, superstar development trade. And then I think Marco was, yeah, I mean, okay, so there was some big needs at positions like cornerback and D-line. If J.J. Watt with X Factor is still going to be really good, wow, he's really good. Okay, maybe I should have went with man. My bad. You know, maybe we're okay in certain positions. Also, I think Golden may have went up to star, which, considering how consistent he's been as like an average to slightly above average edge rusher at times, I mean, it kind of feels like he should just be at star, right? It seems fair, but I guess that's the way it is because, I mean, didn't have to do anything about it. Let's take a look, though. That Browns team, 86 overall, not crazy higher than the teams we faced. Pretty much been facing nothing but 85 overalls. We now bump from an 83, I believe, to an 85, so we're up to the task. I guess this has a chance to be a dynasty-type rebuild. Obviously, even if we aren't a dynasty type, making it to the Super Bowl here, if we don't at least make it to the Super Bowl by year 3, I mean, you might have to just end the rebuild anyway. So this is looking like a potential 3-year rebuild with the chance to maybe do a 4 or 5, but I mean, this is kind of looking like a shorter one. But yeah, Buffalo's playbook. Interesting. It's not a team that I would, ever run their playbook because they just suck in sim so much when they have a really solid roster. So you're just like, why would I do that? But you can see here, it's looking kind of dire here. 5-point deficit, but the team is moving. Chance to come away with the clutch up, and they do on top of it the 2-point conversion. 2 minutes left, though. The Browns are moving, and on 3rd and 10, they can't do it. So it will be a 4th and 10 play that may decide the Super Bowl. Deshaun Watson, a chance to be suspended on the year, but isn't here as the NFL is all about that money. One-on-one against our best corner, and knocked away. The Browns lose, most likely, and we're going to have a year 1 Super Bowl win. Don't know if I really see this as a rebuild, because the team kind of did it without us, if you will. Obviously, that's kind of the point, though, is to see what the team is like, with the new squad. I mean, I guess it's going to be a 3-year rebuild. It's going to be a little bit on the shorter side, no matter what happens, I think. If we win 2 Super Bowls in a row, after this, we don't make the Super Bowl again, we don't make the playoffs again, it's a year 1 Super Bowl. I don't know if I can say much more than that. I'm kind of speechless. It is what it is. Obviously, got some aging pieces like J.J. Watt, Hopkins, who, I mean, I don't know where he's going to go after this whole PEDs, thing. I don't know, like, the whole ins and outs of quote-unquote performance-enhancing drugs. I think there's a very, very broad spectrum. Like, you could have the smallest thing in the world where it's, just slightly, helps your stamina, but it's not even an intended thing. Like, you could literally get something for your doctor and, it's technically a PED when it's actually for some other condition. But obviously, that's kind of irrelevant here as we can't make up suspensions. Only the league can do that. Ayo! But of course, Deshaun Watson, 42% completion percentage. That is awful. That is the signs of a man doing too much, in my opinion. It's rising to throw more picks, though. Rushing, kind of locked them up considering, who they are. That is a top-tier flight running back squad, number one duo in the league. I mean, there's no argument about that. Absolutely insane. Terrell Williams with a touchdown. DeAndre Hopkins, speaking of, had himself a game. Of course, no one else really performed outside of him, so clutching up there. Myles Garrett with 2.5 sacks. Kiki with 1. Golden with 1. Clowney, who did return in real life as well with, half or whatever it was. Joke with the pick. Cody Parkey ain't no joke here. Maybe the Bears regretting it, ? The man's moved on since was it a double doink or the triple? I think it was the double. I think it was left crossbar. I think, right? Or maybe was it a triple? I can't even remember, dude. I thought it was left and then bottom crossbar, but I don't remember. When it shows retirements, that means you actually had retirements. Now, I did expect it to be Andy Lee, but I also thought maybe there was a sliver of a chance JJ was on that list, and honestly, after the way he just played, now I'm kind of like, maybe I should have gave him that deal, but X Factor JJ Watt, 1 year 16. I mean, it is very costly at his age, although if he actually were to get to that sack total, that's just untrue, and you know it. I mean, hey, tag, if he was able to get back to that 20 sack total, 33, 34, whatever his age is, you kind of do have to pay him like a 1 year 20 or whatever, but a 1 year 18 pretty much at that age is a win for him. It's a win for us because of how well he played. And yeah, I'm hoping he puts up those numbers again, or at least close to, as I've seen some hit or miss things in that JJ Watt guy. That's a hard guy to invest in, but obviously when healthy, as we've seen, huge contributor, and obviously helped us win a Super Bowl. Now, as you can see, Kennard it's a little bit of a different situation because I believe in real life, he kind of took the dead hit, or the Cardinals took the dead hit in 2022, so it's a good chance he probably does get released, but also at the same time, the dead hit's the same as the cap hit, so in 2023, I don't know if he's actually going to be released. It's really weird, but in Madden, it's a little different, so unless I was going to change his contract, which I could have, and it probably would have benefited us, I'm just going to, part ways just in general. Of course, this is a tough one because Humphries, you're saving 10 mil for, but actually, he's only a 79 overall. He's okay. How many sacks did he give up? Because in real life, 24 sacks for us here, or 20. Okay, yeah, I'm gonna be getting rid of him, which I think I can do for free, as based on real life. May even get rid of Justin Pugh, another guy that is kind of on a last year type of situation. Now I do kind of feel bad, though, because in real life, DJ Humphries is not super bad. Tom Brady being a free agent here isn't the most unrealistic thing in the world. I'd expect him to be more of a retired guy than a free agent, but we'll see what happens, see how the season unfolds. I was completely wrong about Rodgers leaving/retiring after a very disappointing loss. I mean, once again, I got to always bring up the Packers because it always just correlates to them. The Cardinals losing their undefeated streak. It was them, but I'm not 100% sure what that Tom Brady guy would be up to, because that money seems pretty legit to commentate, but at the same time, I don't know if his heart is in that situation. I didn't really watch, I think he was on with the Manning brothers. I didn't really watch that per se. I don't know what his situation was with that, if he was having fun or not, but yeah, I mean, it's kind of irrelevant anyways, because Tom Brady, he's not going to be played by us or paid by us, but at the same time, if he joins a team that is a direct competitor to us, which, I mean, the way he plays, kind of any team really, it's kind of the argument of, do I just delete him from existence or not? All right, so we did offer some free agents. Some of the names I'm not really super happy about, but they would be improvements, especially since, wow. Of all the people to accept, this is by far the most surprising, because this is the guy that actually had a competitor competition for his services, but he's going to be playing left guard for us. He's just agile enough, and it is what it is. Of course, Hicks, I offered him a 1 year 9.6. You don't want it. You don't want it. Of course, Humphreys, I offered him literally what he wanted, and he said no. Tariq Cohen offered a 3 year 5. I actually kind of wanted to. I really just want him on a 2 year deal kind of situation. A 2 year 4 for someone who has been as unfortunate as he has with the injuries. I mean, there's a lot of potential there, but I mean, he's still very limited in what you can do with him, and obviously the injury concerns are just through the roof, unfortunately. But as far as what we're going to do at left tackle, it's probably draft one. So we have pick 32, and yeah, there's a 1 to 2 grade left tackle, but there's also a 2 to 3 grade left tackle that look just good, if not better. He had A's for several things, and that is Mr. Chad Knight. He has A awareness, A impact block, maybe built more to be a guard with those impacts, but really good finesse blocking, which is what you want on that perimeter. C run block power, which is a little iffy. I don't know, that run blocking could suck. But we do have other guards, too, that could move over to tackle. I don't think this was one of them. Yeah, he's a little bit on the non-athletic side, but I believe Castle was one of those faster guards. But, yeah, I mean, he's kind of on the thicker side. I want Knight the most, but at the same time, I don't know if we absolutely need to take him right here. If he's a 2 to 3, we could probably move down to, like, 14. We're going to be adding 102 to trade back 6 spots with the Patriots, which is a dub. And I don't think we're going to mess around anymore. I almost called him Chad Knight, Castle. Chad Knight, the automatic starter at left tackle, and a hidden development trait 166 Excel is a little bit on the slower side, but 6'5", 21 years old. That's a win. So we trade 64 and this year, and a 5th and 6th next year to the Eagles for 57. Maybe even a little bit of an overtrade for us, but, still, it is what it is. We're going to end up grabbing a DT. Bronson was my number 1. This guy is my number 2. Mr. Carrington, 90% scouted, but a C block shed with an A power move, 36 reps. He's got, he's 6'1", 297, so he seems like one of those interior guys, so hoping for the best, and we're going to grab him. Normal development trait, kind of expected that. 90 strength. What was his reps again? 36? It's actually really good, no? I'll take that. That's a bonus. Of course, normal dev, but that power move could be like 86, 87. Could be all the way to like, I haven't seen 90, but I've seen close to 90. I've seen 89, I think. Could be like an 88, 89. Might also be like an 83, 84. I don't know, but we're hoping for the better than that. So we have a lot of options. Edge rusher is one of those options with Brooks or Steele. I can't really tell who's better. Brooks is faster for sure. Medlock is also an option, as we do kind of need linemen going forward. He's very strong. Got a lot of Bs. Look decent. He's a decent pass blocker, it seems. And if I was going to bet on anyone, I probably would go with Josh Medlock. And I'm glad we did, because he's got 90 strength, and he's hidden. Of course, the speed sucks, but 6'2", maybe even a future center, because he is on the smaller side. Really good pick regardless. I mean, that's a dub. Another hidden development trait lineman is just a straight-up win every time. And that's one... Actually, no, it wasn't one... Wait, Okay, I thought every single player was gone for a moment there and it fixed, but I'm not really sure who to go for here next. We still need edge, and I don't know if Steele is that guy, but I mean, these types of players... What about Nate Reed? C catching, very fast, but they didn't show us anything else. But yeah, I mean, those types of outside linebackers, these 6'5" guys that look like they're like 83 speed, maybe 84 speed, they seem to be like those hidden development trait decent players, but at the same time, this guy looks worse than most of the ones we've seen. I think I'm going to go with Nate Brooks just because of how freaking freakly he is. 4'5" at 261 is great. Nate Brooks it is, and normal dev, but 86 speed, 87 excel. I think that was still a pretty good choice. Our last 2 players are a punter and a fullback, so I'm going to trade this down and then grab those 2 players in the 6th and 7th rounds. Packers are the only team giving us a 4th next year, so obviously that's the team I'm going to be trading with. No matter how well or bad they play, it's better than everyone else. I think I did mention that once before, but I do wonder how it works. Like, is there like a group chat for trades like in the NFL? Because, you know, you get all these calls from teams that want this pick. How does that work? Like, there's got to be billions of people on the phone, right? Like, it's just, I don't even know. But of course, the only decent kick power guy, injury, I don't care about any of that. Jesse Sullivan, 95 kick power. He's our new starting punter because Andy Lee did retire. And then Mr. Irrelevant, the 21-year-old fullback with a run block. Maybe not so. Yeah, I was about to say, I didn't think he was going to be hidden, but I was about to say, maybe not so irrelevant with that A run block, but he's also hidden. That's a win. Of course, 78 strength, but decently athletic. That's the first hidden fullback we've had in ages. I mean, we just had our first hidden, I don't know if it was a kicker or a punter in ages. Ooh, these overalls are looking kind of iffy. But now we have our first punter that is of hidden development trait, descent. Of course, the left tackle automatically starting, so it doesn't matter. We're number 69, star dev. I kind of want to see some of the other guys that we passed on. Carrington only a 70 overall, but 87 power move. Like we said, a very good player, probably a plug-and-play starter. Medlock, I think I just want to put at... I don't know how old Hudson is. I might actually just keep this guy at right guard for now. What's his dev? Star development trait as expected. And I guess Brooks, 69 overall. I don't know when he would start, if he would start. Terrible block shed, but good finesse. I suppose we'll play him at left outside linebacker. I think that's what we need right now, technically, with Golden getting on the older side. Wish we could have done a little bit more for the edge, but we still did pretty damn well. The draft was still really good. The offseason was really good. 95 kick power, 79 accuracy. That's really good. Paul Weathersby. Watch, he be our only hidden, our superstar development trait player. Good pass blocking as well. He's a pretty good player, actually. A 72 run block from an A is kind of a drop, but, I mean, what can you do? It's just the way the potentials go. And, yeah, as expected, star, but it's still fun to have a freaking hidden development trait fullback. The other left tackle I was looking at was Marquise Bolden, who also seems to be pretty good. I don't know what his dev is. If it's superstar, it's a little bit of an L because it seems like we could have actually traded up for him, but he is only star, so, I mean, it's all right. Holy crap, 80 overall middle linebacker for the freaking Panthers. He's 23, but, I mean, outside of being a bit more athletic than Kuechly, getting me some Kuechly vibes. Of course, I think I saw, oh my god. What the hell did the Cowboys do? What? They don't even need a quarterback. This guy was also on my list. Oh, I don't even want to look. 94 speed at 6'3" with hidden. I don't even want to look. Running back for the Eagles, obviously seen Miles Sanders. Really wasn't playing that well. This guy's a freak. 96 speed, 91 juke move at 21 years old, or 21 years of age, right out the gate. That's kind of busted. What's his dev? Superstar dev. This guy's kind of good. I guess 32 looks better. Casa, who slipped all the way to 20, was a hidden development trait player. And a superstar. Fun. That's great. I love it. Why did he fall? He was a 1-2. He was superstar. Cheese the game. Technically, you probably would want to do zone coverage because he's already so good at it that you would want to kind of like raise the one that's unlikely to go up, but we're so far behind on man coverage, which is really strange because it never is the case that we decide to go that way. And then DeAndre, no. Tyree, no. He's too many teams. He's a fair weather fan here. That is a massive L, dude. Kyler Murray. Of course, with his contract being accounted for here, we still have quite a bit of money, so maybe not the biggest L in the world, of course. Like I said, you know, this team absolutely should be looking to keep him. I'm trying to see what a 2-year 70 looks like. A 2-year 7-year 270. It's not even 40 mil, and I don't think he's played that well, but I think he's earned enough to get to 40. So we go a 283 7-year deal, which is, I mean, I think completely fair. Of course, looking at everything else, Byron Murphy, he's that true number one corner, so a 5-year, kind of $75 million deal is kind of fair. Let's go with a 6-year, turn it a 6-year, $91 million deal is perfectly fair. Safeties, dimes a dozen. It's kind of weird to say it like that, more like dime a dozen, but still a very good one. So a 5-year 34 is, I think, pretty fair for his talents. And Will Hernandez is apparently gone here, which, I mean, I'm completely fine with. Prater's probably going to retire whether we like it or not, and Andy Isabella never developed, and, you know, we can live with everything else, and even then, we have money left over to maybe spend on free agents. You can see here we have probably about 50 mil left. J.J. Watt might be gone whether we like it or not, and then Hudson, kind of similar situation. I think actually he'll be here for at least another year, so I'm just going to pay him now, 1 year 12. Realistically, we just need a right tackle. With a win, I think we take a playoff spot, not the division, as we are going to be playing up against the San Francisco 49ers. Teddy Bridgewater, the number 1 in the league, as you obviously would expect. Kyler Murray, a down year for a fact. Maybe Buffalo's playbook isn't the move, as the running numbers were bad too. Hopkins did well, but Marquise Brown was down. Rondale Moore was down. Almost the exact same season, maybe not touchdowns-wise, but yards-wise, was like literally 6 yards difference. Of course, a little bit less, effective per catch, but still pretty much the same thing there. Blocking, actually really good. Blocking was pretty good, but once again, the offense still, underperformed hard. J.J. Watt was awful. Cameron Thomas was decent. But honestly, this was just an awful season. I mean, this is a bad season for everyone other than, like, Prater, the punter. Thomas, I guess it's a decent year, too. I mean, it's really not a great year, but Mixon MVP. Obviously, it's Jalen Hurts with a bunch of award wins, which is funny because he sucked so hard when we were playing against him. I mean, it was awful, but here we are, going against the Niners, division rival, literally the same exact rating, which makes no sense because they have one better offense, but you know what? I'm not here to argue numbers. I'm here to probably cry because we're going to lose. The Bills playbook got us here last season. Why not this year? Of course, San Fran with a really, really long drive getting 3, and then they get 10 total now. 10-7, 17-7, 17-14. Really clutch drive before half. It is now all tied up just like that. No worry, no panic. Just chilling out, getting down the field. Up by 3. San Fran ties it. And with under a minute left, I mean, the offense looks like they're going to score here. EA, please. Stop making games that just aren't good. Please at least tell me you missed the kick. There was no missed kick, so I mean, I did it once before. Like I said, if there's even one missed kick, which could have happened any time in the game, I'm like, hey, I can't argue against that. Maybe that was the missed kick, but we'll sim it out. But if we can't win in overtime, we're going to be forcing the win. I'm just going to be honest with you. And, of course, I didn't say anything. We're not going to force any. Fair and square overtime win. Nice. Of course, Kyler Murray outperformed Trey Lance by a lot. Like, he just crushed him. Of course, that last drive there in overtime really helped. Elijah Mitchell, decent game. James Conner, pretty solid game. Ingram, awful game. Brown, 13 for 207. Not bad. A couple of touchdowns. A lot of people involved, but, man, Marquise Brown really took over. Sack total's pretty basic for us. Bronson, that was actually the guy that we were going to draft, and Niners stole him, but our guy's making it to the divisional. As expected, we have to play the Packers again. This time, their record definitely is more realistic and more consistent to what we've seen, but that means nothing to us as we are on a war path. Now, I don't know if I truly believe that or not, but it sounded really epic to say, so I decided to say it. Of course, we stopped them. We get a touchdown. We had a really long run, 14-7, 17-7, 24-7, 27-7. This could be a good thing for Green Bay, though. You know, not always see. Now they've lost. What is it actually against Tampa Bay? They did get off to a pretty bad start and then almost clutched it up, but thought maybe this was a different scenario, and hell, they almost did. Kind of similar to that game, like I just said, but Rodgers actually kind of outperforming Murray is very similar, but I would say 4 touchdowns, 2 picks is better than 2 touchdowns, 1 pick, and their completion percentage was the exact same, especially considering James Conner apparently way outperformed Aaron Jones. I mean, really good game, actually, and wow, Ingram sucks. Wow. Ertz pretty good, Marquise pretty good again. And wow, Hopkins really didn't get involved. Isaiah, Andy Isabella anyways, really good performance there considering he doesn't play. Getting a touchdown in a big game like this, the divisional round, when you're not even technically a starter, it's it's a pretty big play. Cameron Thomas with a sack, no one else with sacks though on our team. Simmons and Baker with picks, Stokes with a pick, kicking perfect from Prater. I mean, I got to give it to us. Our veteran kickers and punters, even though Andy Lee's gone now, rest in peace, gone from the league, of course. They kind of clutch up, though. They kind of clutch up. Kiki, I guess, just make him a run stopper. We already got a power move guy. JJ Watt's a pass rusher. Maybe he'll stay around one more year, and then kind of need a pure pass, run defense guy. Insane tackling, good block shedding-ish. Player X decent. Of course, Marco Wilson. I think slot is just busted for upgrades, and specifically man coverage upgrades. See if we get one. Yeah, +3 to man coverage. It's totally worth doing that. Trey McBride still has not started. Maybe gets the start next season. I'm going to go with vertical threat, even though it's going to upgrade his possession. He's now a 78 overall tight end. Decent run block. Run block's actually getting up there. Buda Baker. I don't think it matters what you upgrade, because the man is just goated regardless, but go with the run support. Looks like a really good upgrade in my book. And yeah, I mean, just freakily good. But here we go, the championship round after winning the Super Bowl, and there those blue bastards that I don't like to see are the 87 overall Dallas Cowboys. Get ready to be entered repeatedly and exited repeatedly. It's just, EA has a hard-on for the Cowboys, and there's just nothing that can stop them. They are, speaking of warpaths, on the warpath usually. And here we are losing 14-0 to start this one out. I mean, I don't want to say I told you so, but 21-7. Nice little touchdown before half. 21-10, 28-10, 28-13. Defense isn't going to be able to do it. Not only are they giving up points, but they're also giving up long drives. And yeah, as expected, we lose to the Dallas Cowboys 34-13. Not a great performance for either quarterback, to be honest. Rushing, Zeke was way better. Connor was just awful. Ingram is getting so bad he lost yards. 3 for -6. Murray didn't do anything running-wise. The receivers weren't really good outside of Rondale Moore. Sack totals, they crushed us there too, even with Sheldon Rankins of all players. We had 0 sacks, which, I mean, in a Madden sense, kind of equates to 0 pressure, if you will. 0 interceptions. Prater was good, though. That's cool. The only guy that was good besides Rondale, but hey, good job, Prater. Yeah, that was pretty awful. It's really awful. The Chiefs versus the Cowboys, because why wouldn't it be the Chiefs? And the winner of this one is, wow, the Cowboys smoked the Chiefs even. I mean, there was just no stopping them then. Sweet. Fun. Of course, looking at our dev-ups, I don't expect any on offense, so that's about expected. Thomas doesn't go up into dev, though. How is Wilson going up in dev? What is he doing to go up in dev, whereas Thomas just had 9.5 sacks, and he got not even star? No, that's the wrong thing. I didn't want to look at this. Obviously, it's impressive. We really love that Marco Wilson is a superstar dev corner, but I wanted to see his stat line to see what is it? Tackles, picks? I just don't know. I really don't. Especially considering Byron is still star. I'll take it, though. You know what? I'll take it. Carrington, what the hell did he even do? Of course, it's really weird that these high power move guys almost seem to do nothing. Obviously, he's a DT, so maybe they're kind of expecting to be more of a run stopper, but they usually do nothing in Sim for us. But, okay, I guess maybe this is the year we kind of spend a little bit of money in free agency. Probably would use it on a pass rusher, if anything. But let's do our re-signings. I think we are going to lose Marcus Golden, speaking of pass rushers, and I don't know what J.J. Watt's regression or Hudson's regressions are, or maybe they're just going to straight up retire. This probably will be Prater, speaking of retirements. Prater and Beecham, which I don't know what the Beecham contract was like, but not the worst thing in the world. But now we need a new kicker on top of it. Man, these special teamers, they get their shot. I mean, I guess they won Super Bowls anyways, but get their shot, and they're just like, we're out of here. But let's take a look at the regression anyways. Hudson, who we actually already paid, didn't we? 86 overall, still fair enough. And J.J. Watt, 88 overall. That X Factor, kind of clutching up. I don't know if he'd be actually willing to play on the tag again, but I mean, I almost just lost him anyways. As far as fairness goes, it's fair, right? His ask price is a 1-year 15. Can I just give him a fully guaranteed deal? I mean, a fully guaranteed $15 million deal? Wow, I'm sure. I mean, I guess he's getting 18.1 anyways, but that's not annoying. Promise, I'm not annoyed at all. 23 mil. Do we have anything we can actually get rid of? Obviously, just paid Murray. We just paid a bunch of different players, and we have guys that are on contract from recent years. So I think we are just kind of a team that's broke. Who the hell? I know this is the real life guy, but 5 mil. I think he was like a 6th-round pick, wasn't he? Do you mind? Of course, James Conner is going to need a contract too. I'm not really super looking forward to that, to be honest. Kiki's going to need a contract. Yeah, I'm glad it's only a 3-year deal. A rebuild anyways. You know, that's definitely a positive thing now. I don't want to completely ruin the team by signing something like, hey, well, we're not playing another year anyways. Let's just grab anyone we want. But it would be nice. Rashawn Gary. That's a little out of my pay grade, though. I mean, it's the open market, though. I want to offer him a 5-year, $100 million deal. I don't know what he played like for the Packers this past season, but hey, I'm just saying, you know, like he might have had like 3 sacks, might have had like 2, maybe he had 20, but I can't see those things, and the fact that no one's offering them is super unrealistic, I will admit, but at the same time, like, what can I do, you know? So we're going to be offering him, and then maybe like some cheaper deal, like edge rusher, just in case. Yeah, I don't think there's anyone like that around here that's, you know, you're going to have to pay people anyways. Yannick Ngakwe's getting like a 3 or 45, which kind of throws my whole theory of Rashawn Gary out the window, but I don't think he's going to accept it anyway, so let's just skip it ahead and just pretend like we didn't offer a contract, because we're just not going to get him. That's what a loser would think, of course. We are winners. Rashawn Gary, welcome to the Arizona Cardinals. He also becomes the best player on the team immediately, by overall at least. This is a defense. It's got its holes, but it's a defense with some insane individual playmakers. Now what I'm going to be looking to do is likely draft right tackle. Not even likely, 100% draft right tackle. Probably look at the D-line, and it probably wouldn't hurt to look at wide receiver with DeAndre Hopkins at 31 years of age now. Yeah, I mean, we might need multiple linemen as well, because, you know, Hudson is obviously an older fella. He's going to be gone after next season no matter what for us. So, love that signing with Gary, but also does it cuck the team long-term as this team's broke? But 20 mil per year for a 96 overall superstar is definitely a win. That's not a college, that's a food. Oh, Lord. Oh, Lord. 5th year. Oh, no. Just let me pay him cheap as possible. It's still going to be too expensive. All right, so we have pick 32. No, we do not. We did not win the Super Bowl. We have a decent pick, is what I was going to say. There's a bunch of 2 to 3 linemen we have on the list. I don't even think we have a single one in the 1 to 2 range. Of course, we do have a corner in the 1 to 2 range, but not really the position of need. Also, not the fastest guy in the world, but he looks decent with that B zone. But let's move on to 29, which is, I don't know why I said it was a decent pick. It's higher than normal, but it's still not a decent pick. Let's move to like 10 in the second round, because I have a DT. You guys seen 2 to 3 round 1 grade. Can't really risk that. I think I'd be willing to go to like 45 or so or higher. I mean, no one else is really giving me an offer, so we're going to go to Atlanta, 42, gain a 4th this, a 4th next. They move up like 13 spots or so and take a running back. Interesting. I suppose that is a team that probably does need a running back, but at pick 10, tell me there's some of these linemen gone. We have 3 linemen here still. Will Berger or Berger? Hey, we're going to see it, whatever the hell that was. F injury. Iffy. Then you have Purnell, I believe, very athletic, but a D in pass block. Well, very athletic for his size. I mean, I think it's kind of clear cut that Anthony Gregory's the best, and even then, he's not like crazy great. 22 years old. He's on the bigger side. Lead block sucks, but fast enough at a tackle spot. I mean, I think he's going to be a low overall, but I think he's going to be hidden. And he is. Okay, that's all that matters. 90 strength, 91 speed. He's a good pick. And George Parker was one of the guys I had on my list as well, so I imagine DT is going to be gone again soon. So let's try to trade with a team that's sitting right here in our faces, the Bears. We trade these things to get that thing. Pick 45 is that thing. And this will be a DT, as been a little iffy here and there on drafting DTs. We're going to have to replace J.J. Watt and potentially Kiki. So this is a little bit of a luxury pick, but it's still a pick that is also a good one. B block shed, B power move, B tackle. Very athletic, solid with the strength. I mean, he's a good pick, it seems. And he is hidden development trait. 91 strength, 79 speed at 310 pounds. 21 years old as well. I mean, may even start at DT, because once again, the DT we grabbed, a good power move, but didn't really play that well, and he's still normal dev. So, those are factors that unfortunately do ring true. Running back CJ Chancellor looks like a decent pick. I don't know if I really want to make a play for a running back. Yeah, actually, I do, because we got to get rid of... Well, I don't want to get rid of James Conner, but I don't think I can afford him. All right, the Raiders are just weird enough to take a running back when they don't need one, so I'm going to try and deter them with a trade. Once again, these things for that. Ooh, Jeffrey Sinclair is still there. He had 2 Bs, decently good pro day and all that. Dion Reedy, center that looked all right. Once again, super athletic. F and run block finesse, but that A run block power, and he's an interior guy, so that's all I really care about. What about these other guys? I think I just looked at them because of their speed. Oh, wow, F release. Yikes. Yeah, I think it's a clear cut. You're trading up for CJ Chancellor here, who is considered an elusive back. I don't know if that's a glitch, but does that mean like super good dual style? Of course, normal dev, but 91 speed, 91.3 excel, 90 agility for a power back is kind of freaky. Of course, 77 change of direction, which I think overrides agility anyways, but, we don't talk about that. So we're now in the late part of the 4th, which our next pick is the 7th round. We're missing extra picks next year, so unless this Kenny Hughes guy looks good, which... Ironically enough, he actually does. Whatever, Kenny Hughes went up. Normal development trait, 94 speed. I mean, as far as the speed, excel, and agility goes, that's in that order how you would like it. And then if there's a halfway decent kicker, I might grab one just for future-proofing, as Boswell is on the older side, and he might just suck. I'm half tempted to just take Ernie. Like, just straight up solid kick power, which is... It's okay. F kick power, I mean... His kick power is good, but his accuracy is F. Barry Ramsey, and F accuracy as well. I mean, this might be the first time where I just ignore the kick power and just go straight for Ernesto over here. Brian Bacon, that's an interesting name. I mean, it seems like Ernie Buckley, which is just like, I mean, he probably got bullied a ton. He's going to be joining us. 91 kick power. I don't know what that accuracy is like, but his name's Ernie. I mean, what else am I supposed to do? So last year's overalls were kind of bad. I expect them to be even worse this season, and they actually aren't. Of course, running back's kind of a cheat code. It's not really fair, but Anthony Gregory, the automatic starter at right tackle, as we literally don't have one because of retirement. Let's take a look at that dev. Did we land ourselves a superstar plus corner tackle? We did not. Of course, Jones, I think, is going to be the starting DT. Yeah, I think he's going to be the starting DT. We'll take a look at his dev just for the fun of it. Regardless of what this dev is, he's going to be the starting DT for us this year, like I said. And he is star as well. I would have loved one hidden of superstar capabilities. Of course, Chancellor, a good running back. Even though he's normal development rate, we'll take that. Of course, I don't understand why these guys can't block when they are giant people. There's 234 that should be able to block, Like, come on, help me out here, please. Of course, Ernie Buckley, 70 overall with... I guess I should have taken the other. This guy sucks, but his name's Ernie. It shouldn't be allowed. He's also the only kicker drafted, so maybe they all just suck and shouldn't be drafted. My fault. It's my bad and believing in people. Sorry. All right, we have the squad for the final year 3. Of course, James Conner's probably somebody that would be let go just because we can't really afford him, and it's kind of getting up there in age. Obviously, Chancellor's not a bad replacement. Hopkins could be gone soon. Marquise hopefully doesn't need to be paid. If he does, that's going to be fun. McBride gets the start as Ertz really hasn't taken that extra step. And, of course, this is his last season anyway, so you don't feel as bad about if you're not utilizing him as much as you would have hoped. Offensive line has taken a step back in overall, but obviously in potential, it's way up there with 3 future long-term starters needing to replace Treader and Hudson. I mean, this is... I'm glad we won year 1, to be honest, because this is, like, the definition of a year 3, and this team is about to get much worse. We're going to be losing Watt. We're probably going to be losing Kiki. We're going to be losing Hudson. Potentially going to be losing Treader. Potentially losing Hopkins soon. I mean, there's, Connor's probably going to be gone. There's a lot of high overalls that are going to be gone where, yeah, they're expensive, but they make up a big portion of the team. Re-signings, we're just talking about we have a lot of money. What the hell? Where did this money even come from, dude? Like, I literally thought we were about to be broke, but 4-year 70 for Marquise. Simmons, probably about a 5-year 75 for him. And, I mean, who wants money? We've got it, baby. I mean, I might pocket some of this, to be honest, but Treader, Hudson probably can't be, dealt with anyways. Kingsley Kiki. Actually still not a terrible player, though. I mean, J.J. Watt might be gone just because he might just be retired, but we can definitely afford some players. I guess we'll offer a 1-year deal to Treader as well. Wait too long, and he's like, I don't want to be here anymore. It's like, okay, thanks, man. What else? James Conner, a 4-year deal. Can I do like a 3-year? It's like, okay, that probably wasn't good for us. It was a 3-year 22 instead of a 4-year 27, but I guess it works out, whatever, who cares. And, okay, I mean, maybe we weren't as screwed as I thought. 9-7, a win probably puts us in the playoffs, and we do win. Of course, we tie the Rams with a 10-7 season. Once again, kind of underperforming, though, but it is what it is, I guess. A bunch of losses in a row, a bunch of wins in a row. Lost against the Eagles by a lot, and then, continue the win streak. But still, man, this team, it's not like the crazy best we've ever had, but we have some crazy playmakers with Rashawn Gary and Hopkins and Brown and Murray, even James Conner. Kyler Murray, though, speaking of, 4,500 yards, 36 touchdowns, 6 picks. Better. Connor, about the same as last year. Marquise Brown crushed it. Maybe he goes a superstar. Hopkins, Trey McBride was better than Ertz has been. Rondale Moore is kind of just like a support guy. The tackles, the young tackles were awful. J.J. Watt back to his old ways. 8.5 for Mike Jones. 8 for Gary. It's 4 for Cameron Thomas. I mean, the way Gary played, though, you kind of just seem like the edge just sucks in this scheme. I'm not really sure why, but I'm going to stick with it because obviously it got us a Super Bowl year 1. But let's take a look at the yearly awards. Murray at 7. Year 1 he was at number 5, so that was the highest he's ever been. And it's the highest he's going to finish because obviously we're done after this season. But Mike Jones, the Rookie of the Year on defense. Kyler Murray, number 2 for quarterback in NFC. So as far as NFC goes, though, Ryan Edwards, okay. NFC goes, he is the highest that he has been. Number 3 was his highest, and now number 2. But Tampa Bay, 88 overall. I don't know who their quarterback is because obviously, Tom Brady went to free agency, and then I seen him a year later in the normal free agency, which means he didn't even get bidded on, which is just disrespectful. But let's see it. I don't know who that quarterback is. We'll find out, especially when we find out we lose. It'd be really disappointing. But 7-7 to start this one out. Still 7-7. Still 7-7. Still 7-7. And Tampa will break that 10-7. Really early starts and then just nothing. But it's 13-7. We're going to lose in a very... maybe not. Maybe not. 6 minutes left. I'm about to say we're likely going to lose in a very unfortunate fashion, but we're going to come out here and play this out. Teddy Bridgewater is the quarterback here. I mean, I feel like you probably have to play the coverage because... I mean, you're in the playoffs. You can't play it the way... Oh, my Lord. Wilson gets beat by Godwin. But you can't, if you're them, play it like, you're going to just play it out on defense. You take this win if you're them. But 1st and 10 from the 30. Okay, wow. They're really taking this chance as J.J. Watt... What the hell? Teddy Bridgewater don't got that in him. What the hell? In what world? Look at this. Hello. Excuse me. What do you mean? We're coming with a blitz because we got to force something crazy to happen. Maybe get a pick or something. I don't even know. This is where you would start running if you're them, though, I'd imagine. Or not. Okay. And a flag. Interesting. AI Teddy Bridgewater can make that throw on the run like sidearm wildness. But when it comes to getting the ball off in time, Don't you damn try to do that. Impossible. As we're bringing the blitz. Literally perfectly picked up. Oh my god, dude. We brought 7. They had 6 blockers, I think. What is this? Let me see this back. Please tell me they had more than that. We brought 6. And it perfectly got blocked up by 6. Wow. And Marco Wilson, of course, the guy again. That is just... Every year it happens. I don't understand. But I swear somehow base all Madden sliders are tougher than when you change the sliders to make it harder for yourself. And that is a pretty good throw and good tapping to the feet by Rondale Moore. Like, I don't want to, like, control the game here, but at the same time, like, we don't really deserve to lose, do we? This Trey McBride burns on the inside. Can't get out of bounds. Actually, no need to hurry up because it's a 2-minute warning. I mean, this will be one hell of a comeback, and, you know, it would probably be deserved, right? Because we're completely trying to come back here and win this. Over the middle, Rondale Moore again. Hurry up to the line. I mean, obviously that's kind of where they're expecting to give up, but at the same time, if we're going to give up a touchdown here, I don't really care how much time. Oh, I did not see him come out there. And Trey McBride mosses him. He is a big guy. And he comes up with a huge play. I mean, I suppose... The onside kick, I mean, because your chances are pretty low anyways. Oh! We got it! What? No shot! What in the world? We just won an onside kick? I mean, this is like physically impossible with the way the ball doesn't move. Godwin, who made a crazy play, a couple of crazy catches earlier, misses it. Do you think the AI will actually choke this? Oh my. This would be the biggest choke ever, dude. And they wow. What a way to end a rebuild, dude. I guess it wasn't destiny to win after all. Wow, that is really bad. You give us an onside kick and then we get a Kyler Murray pick. Nice. That was fun, Kyler. I appreciate what you did for us there by throwing a pick to Devin White. Nice. Of course, Devin White with that pick. Boswell missed 3 kicks. Yeah, we didn't deserve to win, dude. 3 kicks missed. Oh, my God. 0 for 3. Before we look at the team, I have one thing to do first. 1 second. We got to get there. We have one thing to do. All right, time to release. Like, Jesus. Oh, my. But yeah, let's take a look at the team as we are going to leave this one. I mean, you can pretty much just say RNG is what got us a Super Bowl. RNG is what didn't allow us to get a second Super Bowl. Obviously, it's still a lot of talented players. Kyler Murray's a 97 overall. He's a freak. You know, you look at Hopkins, he's a 97 overall as well. He's still a freak, just a route-running god. Obviously, Marquise Brown is a 92 overall now. Really good medium, really good deep route. That catching is very solid. He got that up nicely. James Conner is a 91 overall with really good trucking, really good stiff arm. Okay juke move, just fast enough technically. Trey McBride finally got to start. He had an all-right season, but it took so long to start that his overall didn't go up super well because obviously he's a little bit on the older side for starting-wise, like 24, 25. Offensive line probably doesn't matter too much. I'm not going to show it. Actually, let's take a look at Rondale Moore, I suppose. Guy with some speed as well. Of course, short route god. So, I mean, we kind of had the trio. I can see why we were a good team. And we had all 3 styles, right? You had that true X receiver that can kind of do it all. You have this medium to deep route speedster. Then you have the short route speedster. I don't know. I didn't want to look at Kiki, dude. I really don't care. Byron Murphy, not Jones, almost. Actually, kind of a good dual style guy. Very impressed by that. Marco Wilson, very impressed by his development. His overall didn't go up that high, but insane zone. He's superstar dev now. I guess we'll take a look at Jones, even though it was his first year on the team. Still had a very impactful one. Let's take a look at Thompson, who's an 88 overall and 90 zone. Very good player, decently fast. Thomas, one of their draft picks outside of Trey McBride, turned out to be okay with the power move. His block, shed is pass rush ability really didn't turn out to be great for us outside of one season, but it might have just been the scheme because obviously Gary only had 8 sacks, and that's with J.J. Watt on the line as well. And, it's just, it's kind of just RNG. But Zaven Collins with a 84 speed, good block shed, good zone man coverage. He's actually a pretty good player in general. Obviously, Gary's not a guy we developed, so there's no point in looking at that. But, yeah, that's going to be it for our Arizona Cardinals realistic style rebuild. Let me know what you liked. Let me know what I could have done differently. Sorry if you were kind of looking for a longer-term thing. The Cardinals are in that weird spot where if they stay healthy, they do have just enough playmakers with guys like Budda Baker, J.J. Watt, Hopkins, Marquise Brown, Kyler Murray, Hudson, and a really, really good center that helps more than just blocking. He helps with identifying things. Simmons is an athletic freak. I mean, you've got some talent there. It's not quite a Super Bowl ready team, but it really is like a team that's potentially one reload away from taking it all, perhaps. So, yeah, I mean, even you look at the Bengals and the Rams. I mean, they had a little bit of luck on their way to the Super Bowl as well. You change one small little detail, and it might be neither of them in the Super Bowl. So you just never know. And they do have just the right amount of talent to be able to get that luck. You got to remember a few years back, Washington football team was almost in the championship round just off of, one different play against Tampa. So, I mean, you just don't know. But, yeah, that's pretty much going to be it. Thanks for watching. If you guys enjoyed, maybe leave a like, maybe subscribe for new. Follow me on Twitter, Jeromepkr, second channel PK Plays. And let me know in the comment section below what team you'd like to see next. There's a bunch of teams I haven't done yet, like the Giants, the Titans, maybe the Chargers. There's plenty of teams that we can still do. I definitely want to do the Titans and Giants, but if there's any other team that I'm forgetting, let me know in the comment section below. But that's about it. Thanks for watching. Hopefully you guys come back for next video. But until next video, see ya!